The mystery. In every man there exists a hidden strength, one that cannot be seen but only felt. A strength invisible to the eyes, yet undeniable to the soul. It is not in the clenching of fists, nor in the raising of voices, nor in the forceful domination of others. No, it resides deeper, in silence, in presence, in the way a man stands when the storm begins to howl. What is this mysterious trait that silently captivates women, not by noise, but by quiet certainty? What is this force that moves others without lifting a hand, that commands respect without demanding it? It is not wealth. It is not beauty. It is not charm. It is stoic composure, the mastery of self, the refusal to be enslaved by chaos, the calm flame that burns without being extinguished by wind. Think about it, the world around us is loud. Opinions fly like arrows, emotions flare like wildfires, and chaos spreads faster than truth. In such a world, the man who can remain unmoved becomes magnetic. His stillness is not weakness, it is strength perfected. His silence is not emptiness, it is depth concealed. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Pause. Let those words echo in your mind. If the world collapsed around you today, if the people you love turned against you, if your plans dissolved into dust, if everything you built was taken in an instant, would you remain centered, or would you shatter? Ask yourself honestly. Would you rise like the mountain that remains standing when storms rage, or would you break like fragile glass under pressure? The truth is, most men shatter. Most men are carried by the winds of circumstance, their emotions tied to the unpredictable waves of life. They are angry when things go wrong, ecstatic when things go well, crushed when they face rejection, inflated when they gain attention. They are not free. They are slaves, slaves to the world, slaves to emotions, slaves to chaos. But the Stoic man, he is different. He is the man who understands that while the universe is vast, while events are uncontrollable, while fate is merciless, one thing remains untouched: his mind, his inner fortress, his sacred ground. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Zeno of Citium, founder of Stoicism. And here lies the mystery. Women, without needing to name it, sense this inner strength. They feel it in the way a man breathes, in the way he listens, in the way he refuses to be dragged into petty storms. They feel the weight of his composure, and it awakens a primal recognition. This is not a man swayed by trivialities. This is a man anchored in something deeper. Why does it matter? Because chaos is terrifying. Life is unpredictable, unstable, and full of uncertainty. A man who trembles at every shift is unsafe, unreliable, ungrounded. But a man who remains steady amidst uncertainty becomes a refuge. He becomes a harbor in the storm. Isn't this what women and truthfully all humans crave at their core? Not perfection. Not control over the uncontrollable. But presence. Steadiness. The quiet strength that whispers, "No matter what happens, I do not break." Now consider yourself. Reflect not on who you pretend to be, but on who you are when life tests you. Do you collapse under pressure? Do you erupt when provoked? Do you crumble when rejected? Or do you pause, breathe, and respond with calm authority? The greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Aristotle. What makes this trait so powerful is its rarity. In a culture addicted to reaction, instant gratification, and emotional overflow, the man who chooses stillness stands out like a lighthouse in darkness. He does not need to shout to be heard. He does not need to boast to be respected. He does not need to chase approval because his presence itself commands attention. And yet, here is the paradox. Though this strength is deeply desired, it cannot be faked. You cannot pretend to have it. You cannot simulate calmness while boiling inside. You cannot wear a mask of composure because life will eventually tear it away. Real stoic composure is earned, forged in the fire of discipline, self-reflection, and relentless mastery of the self. So again I ask you, if the world collapsed around you today, would you remain centered or would you shatter? Would you walk calmly into the storm, unafraid of what may come, or would you be swept away by its winds? Would you be the man who commands attention by noise, or the man who captivates through silence? And deeper still, would you be the man who hides from chaos, or the man who learns to breathe within it? The mystery remains, waiting for your answer. The rational analysis. From a psychological standpoint, attraction is not random. It is not a game of chance, nor a mystery written in the stars. Human attraction is rooted in biology, psychology, and survival instincts that have evolved over thousands of years. And when you look beneath the surface, you realize something powerful. Women are not drawn merely to physical dominance, flashy wealth, or superficial charm. These may catch attention, yes. But attention is not the same as attraction. And attraction is not the same as respect. What women secretly crave, though they may never put it into words, is emotional stability. A man who does not lose himself in anger, fear, or desperation. A man who can face the uncertainty of life without collapsing into panic. A man who is not ruled by impulse but by composure. Why? Because in psychological terms, stability equals safety. And safety equals trust. You see, attraction is not just about excitement. It's about survival. On a subconscious level, women are always scanning for signals. Can I trust this man? Is he reliable when life gets hard? Can he protect me not just physically but emotionally? Think of it like this. A man who explodes in anger over small inconveniences sends a clear signal. He is unstable, unpredictable, unsafe. A man who crumbles under pressure shows that he cannot handle adversity, which means he cannot be relied upon when it matters most. But a man who controls his emotions, who remains centered even when life becomes chaotic, communicates something rare: strength without volatility. He is not a slave to impulses. He is a master of himself. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. This is the psychological key. Stability is not glamorous. It is not loud. It does not draw instant applause. But in the long run, it is magnetic. It creates certainty. And certainty is what allows trust to grow. Now pause and think about yourself. How do you react when you feel disrespected? Do you lash out, letting anger dictate your words and actions? Or do you breathe, assess the situation, and choose your response with clarity? How do you act when faced with rejection? Do you crumble, allowing feelings of inadequacy to dominate you? Or do you remain grounded, knowing your worth does not depend on external validation? These are not small questions. These are tests of mastery. And women, consciously or not, are constantly observing your answers. Psychology teaches us that emotions are contagious. Neuroscience calls it emotional contagion. When someone near you is anxious, you begin to feel anxious too. When someone radiates calm, you begin to feel calm. This is why emotional stability is so magnetic. When a man is calm in chaos, women feel safe in his presence. His energy regulates theirs. His composure gives them certainty. Think about the opposite. Imagine a man who panics every time things go wrong. Imagine a man who is quick to anger, who takes offense at every word, who is visibly shaken by the smallest rejection. Does this inspire confidence? Or does it trigger doubt, fear, even pity? Now, compare that to the man who remains composed. The man who can face an insult without being shaken, who can handle rejection without collapsing, who can remain calm even when life falls apart. He does not need to shout to be heard. He does not need to prove his strength. His stability speaks louder than his words. And here's the irony. This trait is not only what women crave, it is also what most men lack. In a world where instant reactions are glorified, where emotional explosions are common, the man who chooses control over chaos is rare. Rare things are valuable. Rare things are desired. He who reigns within himself and rules passions, desires, and fears is more than a king. John Milton. But let's be clear. Emotional stability is not emotional suppression. It is not about being cold, detached, or indifferent. That is not composure. That is avoidance. True stoic composure is the ability to feel fully, but not be ruled by feelings. To experience anger without being consumed by it. To feel fear without being paralyzed by it. To face desire without being enslaved by it. That is mastery. And that is what creates attraction at the deepest psychological level. So ask yourself, do your reactions show mastery or weakness? When the world tests you, and it always does, do you respond with strength or do you react with fragility? When pressure builds, do you become sharper, calmer, stronger, or do you crack? These questions are not for me to answer. They are for you to face. Because the truth is simple. Women are not looking for a man who never feels. They are looking for a man who feels deeply, yet remains unshaken. And the man who can achieve this, who can become the master of himself, will not only attract others, but he will command the respect of his own soul. Introspective invitation. Close your eyes for a moment. Let the noise of the world fade away. Forget about the notifications, the unfinished tasks, the endless demands waiting for you. For just a few minutes, turn your gaze inward. Now, imagine the last time someone provoked you. See it clearly. The words that cut, the gesture that irritated, the situation that pressed against your patience. How did you respond? Did you explode, letting anger flood out of you, spilling uncontrollably, leaving behind regret and broken trust? Did you retreat, swallowing your emotions, avoiding confrontation but secretly burning inside? Or Did you simply breathe, pause, and remain centered, calm, collected, unshaken? This is not a small question. This is a mirror. Because whether you realize it or not, every reaction you give is a reflection of who truly rules you, yourself, or your emotions. Women can feel it instantly. The man who stands firm inside himself radiates something invisible yet undeniable. His presence is steady, like a tree with deep roots that does not sway when the wind blows. But the man who collapses under pressure, who bends with every passing storm, he radiates instability, and instability always repels. The true masculine trait is not dominance over others. It is not about controlling, overpowering, or intimidating. True strength is not found in the raising of voices or the flexing of muscles. No. The essence of masculinity lies in discipline over self. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius. Pause with this. Conquer himself. The mightiest warrior. Notice the depth of those words. You can win every battle against the world, you can crush competitors, accumulate wealth, and even force others to obey you. But if you remain defeated within yourself, if you have no mastery over your impulses, you are not a warrior, you are a prisoner. Now let the question settle inside you. Have you conquered yourself? Or are you still at war within? Think of the war that rages inside many men. The war against anger that erupts without control. The war against fear that paralyzes. The war against desire that enslaves. The war against insecurity that whispers you are not enough. These inner battles are often invisible to the world, but they are constant, relentless, exhausting. Every man has two versions of himself, the one he shows the world and the one that exists in the quiet of his own mind. The mirror reveals both. And often, it is in silence, when no one is watching, that the real war becomes clear. Have you noticed how difficult it is to sit with yourself in stillness? To spend even 10 minutes in silence without distraction? Why do you think it feels uncomfortable? Because the inner noise is louder than the outer. The restless mind pulls you in every direction, the emotions rise and fall without command, and you realize you are not fully in control. And here lies the truth that many men avoid. Self-mastery is not optional. It is necessary. Without it, you will always be a slave. A slave to your moods, a slave to your cravings, a slave to the opinions of others. Women do not need to see your resume, your achievements, or your possessions to feel this truth. They sense it. They see it in the way you hold eye contact. In the way you breathe when confronted. In the way you carry yourself when things don't go your way. So look again in the mirror. Who are you? Are you the man who needs validation to feel worthy? Or are you the man who knows his worth before anyone else acknowledges it? Are you the man who seeks control over others because he cannot control himself? Or are you the man who commands respect because his presence is disciplined and calm? Are you the man who trembles at rejection or the man who stands unshaken because rejection does not define him? This mirror does not lie. The world often celebrates external victories. But what use is it to conquer the world if you are defeated by your own impulses? What use is it to stand tall in public if you collapse in private? What use is it to be admired by others if you despise the man in your own reflection? The greatest victory is to conquer your own soul. Plato. Every man must face this reality. The wars of life are many, but the war within is the greatest of them all. And until you learn to master it, until you learn to rule yourself, you will never know true freedom. So I ask you again, slowly, with all weight and sincerity, have you conquered yourself? Or are you still at war within? Inspirational push. A stoic man is not cold. Do not mistake composure for emptiness. Do not confuse calmness with indifference. A stoic man burns. His heart is on fire, but it is a fire under control, directed, sharpened, unstoppable. This is the paradox of true masculinity, a man who is steady in storms, yet filled with purpose so fierce that nothing can break his stride. He does not suppress passion. He channels it. He does not extinguish desire. He disciplines it. He does not silence ambition. He focuses it. And this fire, this steady flame, is exactly what women crave. Not the chaotic wildfire that consumes everything in its path, burning bright and then disappearing into ash. But the steady fire that warms, that endures, that lights the way forward. Why does this matter? Because fire signals purpose. Purpose creates direction. Direction creates certainty. And certainty is magnetic. Think about it. A man without purpose is like a ship without a compass, drifting, wandering, easily swayed by the waves of distraction and doubt. But a man with purpose, you can feel it before he speaks. His presence is charged with clarity. His energy is different. His steps are not random, they are deliberate. Women sense this. They are drawn to it. Because purpose is not just attractive, it is reassuring. It says, this man knows where he is going. And in a world full of men who are lost, the one who moves with conviction stands apart. Stillness is not the absence of movement, but the presence of clarity. Think about that for a moment. Stillness does not mean inactivity. It means every action comes from a place of clarity. It means the fire burns not in chaos but in precision. Now ask yourself, when you wake up each morning, do you rise with purpose? Or do you stumble into the day reacting to whatever comes your way? When you walk into a room, do people feel your conviction or do you disappear into the background? Conviction does not need to be loud. Conviction does not scream. Conviction does not beg for attention. Conviction whispers with such certainty that people cannot ignore it. When you walk with conviction, you don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to dominate conversations, flex possessions, or seek validation. Your presence alone communicates more than your words ever could. And when you do speak, when your words come from a grounded place, they echo. They resonate louder than the shouts of insecure men. Why? Because truth spoken with conviction carries weight. Purpose behind words makes them undeniable. And clarity transforms language into fire that burns into the soul. Now reflect. Where is your fire? Do you feel it within you or has it been smothered by doubt, fear, distraction, or laziness? Have you buried it under comfort and excuses, or do you keep it alive, feeding it with discipline and vision? A man without purpose is a man without power. This is why so many men feel weak, restless, lost. They have no direction, no reason to burn, no purpose to ignite them. They wander, hoping the world will hand them meaning, not realizing that purpose is not given, it is chosen. Ask yourself, what drives you? What are you building, fighting for, or becoming? If you cannot answer, then your fire is dim. And when your fire is dim, your presence loses its magnetism. But when you live with purpose, when your life is guided by vision, when your fire is alive and controlled, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your voice deepens with certainty. Your eyes sharpen. Your energy radiates. And people, without knowing why, are drawn to you. Women crave this. They crave the steadiness of a man with direction. They crave the certainty of a man who knows why he wakes up in the morning. They crave the magnetic pull of a man whose life burns with purpose. This is why emotional control alone is not enough. Calmness without fire becomes passivity. Stillness without passion becomes emptiness. Discipline without purpose becomes stagnation. The stoic man combines the two, composure and fire, calmness and drive, control and ambition. He is the mountain and the flame. So look at your own life. Where is your fire? Do you wake with it? Do you carry it through the day? Do you speak with it? Do you build with it? Or has your fire been silenced, buried under distractions, wasted on meaningless pursuits? Because here is the truth, the world does not respect men who drift. The world does not admire men who hesitate. And women are not moved by men who lack direction. The world follows the man who burns with conviction. So I ask you, not quietly but urgently, where is your fire? What have you devoted your life to? What unshakable purpose drives you forward, even when storms rage, even when others doubt, even when everything seems against you? Because once you find that fire, and once you learn to master it, you will not need to chase. You will attract. You will not need to shout. You will be heard. You will not need to prove. You will simply be. And that is unstoppable. The transformation. This one masculine trait, stoic composure, is not about impressing women. It is not about gathering admiration, earning approval, or performing for the eyes of others. It transcends surface-level desires. It is about something far deeper. It is about becoming unshakable in a world that constantly tests you. About finding a core within yourself that no storm can erode, no criticism can fracture, no failure can dissolve. The world will always throw chaos, disappointment, and unexpected challenges at your feet. And the true measure of a man is not in the absence of trials, but in how he stands when they arrive. Pause for a moment and reflect on your life. How often have you allowed yourself to be carried by the winds of circumstance? How often have you reacted, panicked, or lost yourself because the world demanded more than you were ready to give? These moments are not failures. They are mirrors showing you where your composure still needs to be forged. Women may secretly crave this trait. They are drawn to it, yes, because it signals safety, trust, and strength. But beyond attraction, beyond fascination, beyond admiration, there lies an even more important truth. Your soul desperately needs it. Your inner self craves stability. Your spirit longs for mastery. Your heart yearns for certainty in an uncertain world. Stoic composure is not a gift to others. It is the anchor you give yourself. It is the armor you wear when life's tempests rise. It is the foundation upon which you can build, create, and exist without fear. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Let those words sink in. Stop debating morality in abstract terms. Stop philosophizing about who you ought to be without taking action. Stoicism is not theory, it is practice. It is lived in every breath, every decision, every pause before reaction. It is embodied in silence, in patience, in the steady rhythm of a man who has claimed his mind and heart as his own. Now envision the storm. Picture it vividly. The wind howls, the rain lashes, the ground shakes beneath your feet. Everything familiar trembles, and uncertainty looms like a shadow over your life. What will you do? Will you be the man who is tossed by the wind, scattered in pieces, reacting to every gust and tremor? Or will you be the man who becomes the mountain, immovable, steadfast, watching the storm pass with calm dignity? Becoming the mountain is not passive. It is not stagnation. It is not resignation to the forces of life. It is strength without arrogance, stability without rigidity, patience without fear. The mountain does not rush, it does not fight the wind. It stands rooted in the earth, embracing its place in the world while remaining untouched at its core. Ask yourself, how can you cultivate such strength? How can you turn every trial into a tool, every challenge into a teacher, every disappointment into a lesson? Composure is not born overnight. It is earned through daily practice, through reflection, through discipline. Each moment of patience, each controlled reaction, each mindful pause builds the fortress within you. And here is the beauty: as you grow, the world begins to mirror your inner strength. Situations no longer dominate you, they reflect your calm. People no longer unsettle you, they are drawn to your presence. Challenges no longer terrify you, they become opportunities to demonstrate mastery. And quietly, subtly, naturally, attraction follows, because the energy you radiate signals a life fully claimed. Women may see it. Others may notice it. But you feel it first. In the quiet of the night, in the reflection of a still moment, you sense the solidity of your soul. That sense, that power, that unshakable calm, it is the ultimate reward. Not recognition, not fame, not wealth, but the profound knowing that no matter what happens, you stand unbroken. So I leave you with this final meditation. The storm is inevitable. Life will test you. Chaos will come, unpredictability will strike, and people will try to shake you. When it happens, ask yourself, will I be carried away, swept into reaction, lost in the turmoil, or will I root myself, breathe deeply, and become the mountain? Because in choosing the mountain, you choose mastery. You choose freedom. You choose a life that is yours, untouched by the superficial pressures of the world. You choose a path that aligns with the Stoic vision, a life where your composure is your power and your soul is your kingdom. And in this choice you become unstoppable.